It happens all the time. A citizen somewhere in Kentucky shares an idea with one of their state legislators, an idea that's so good that the legislator agrees it should be considered for a possible new state law. Now, while you might remember your civics lessons from school on how a bill becomes a law, there's actually a lot more to the process that typically isn't included in textbooks. Let's take a look. It all starts with a legislator's request. When a state senator or representative requests a bill, staff from the LRC's director's office give it a bill request number. Only a legislator can request a bill, and only LRC staff can draft bills. The bill tracking staff creates a numbered folder for the bill request form and any other pertinent materials. At the same time, the bill is assigned to a drafter. These bill drafters have different areas of expertise, and their job is to make sure a lawmaker's ideas are accurately expressed in the legislation they prepare. Drafters stay in close communication with the lawmaker to achieve the legislator's objectives. It's always the lawmaker's ideas, not the drafters, that are incorporated into the bill. After a bill draft is completed, it's delivered to the statute revision staff, where it's reviewed and checked for compatibility with existing laws. Once the sponsor signs off on it, the bill draft goes back to bill tracking, where it's logged and given a colored jacket to indicate the type of legislation. Staff members assigned by the LRC Director's Office then deliver multiple copies to the sponsor in the legislative chambers. The sponsor signs the copies of the bill and also gets signatures from any other members who want to co-sponsor the legislation. The sponsor files the copies with the clerk of the Senate or House. Only now is it given a bill number, and the copies are distributed to the appropriate recipients, including the press. One copy of the bill goes to the journal clerk for entry into the journal. It then goes to the engrossing and enrolling staff where it's filed for safekeeping. The reading clerk reports the bill by title and sponsor only.
Senate Bill 83, an act relating to fish and wildlife, Senator Buford.
The bill is then reported in the legislative record, the official publication used for tracking legislation in any given session. A digital version of the record can also be viewed online, and the clerk's office records that the bill has been introduced into a bill status database. All bills are printed in the LRC's print shop to ensure confidentiality until they're introduced. But after introduction, copies of the bills can be requested by anyone through the public bill room. The bill is now referred by the Committee on Committees to the appropriate standing committee that has jurisdiction over its subject matter. Bill runners deliver enough copies so that every committee member can receive one. The committee is where lawmakers hear testimony from policy experts and concerned citizens have a chance to weigh in. If a committee approves the bill, it then goes back to the full chamber where it gets its first of 3 readings. The second reading is typically given on the next legislative day.
House Bill 394, an act relating to abandoned property. Representative Jerry Miller.
After its second reading, the bill is officially in the possession of the Rules Committee. The Rules Committee, made up of the chamber's leadership, may recommit the bill to a committee or place it in the orders of the day so that a vote can be taken by the full chamber. Once the bill is ready for a vote, the majority floor leader calls the bill to the floor.
Mr. Speaker, I would move that House Bill 97 be taken from its place in the orders of the day, read for a third time by title and sponsor only, placed upon its passage.
The sponsor of the legislation explains the bill, and other lawmakers also have a chance to debate it, ask questions, and give speeches for or against it. Once the discussion has concluded, members are able to cast their votes.
Does any member wish to change or explain their vote? Clerk will take the roll. There being 79.
After a bill passes its originating chamber, it has reached the halfway point of its journey. The clerk then delivers the bill to the other chamber, where it's announced in open session.
Mr. President, the House has passed House Bill 471.
Then, much of the process must be repeated, with the bill going through another committee for consideration and approval before it can be voted on in the opposite chamber.
Senator Jones, Senator Kerr.
Once both chambers agree on the same version of a bill, it's again reviewed carefully to make sure that all amendments are incorporated correctly, and that both chambers have voted on identical versions of the bill. It is then signed by the presiding officer in each chamber.
Chair is ready to sign Senate Bill 1.
The bill can now be delivered to the governor's office. The governor has 10 days to sign it, let it become law without his signature, or to veto it. If a bill is vetoed, the General Assembly can override that veto with a constitutional majority in both chambers, 51 votes in the House and 20 votes in the Senate. But this description of a bill's journey is a simplified summary of a process that can take numerous twists and turns over several weeks. There are many checks and balances built into the system, and along the way there are many opportunities for a bill to be amended, altered, or even stopped in its tracks. In fact, most bills that are introduced during a session do not end up becoming law. But the bills that do successfully become law can have lasting effects on the lives of people throughout the state. The legislative process is designed to allow all voices to be heard. Even though modern technology supports the work of the legislature, the legislative process is still very much like the one envisioned by our founding fathers. It's a process where people from across the Commonwealth, from all backgrounds, come together in a collaborative effort to chart Kentucky's course into the future.